Greetings, televiewers, and welcome to the English newscast on Info Television. Our headlines. The Minister of State, Minister of Higher Education, Professor Jacques Famendongo, has chaired the installation of Coordination Committee to fight STDs, HIV and AIDS in universities. The Kono Municipality Council examined and adopted the 2024 administrative and management accounts during an ordinary session on September 15th. And in this newscast, we're going to talk sports as the Indomitable Lions continue to improve their tactics and style of play at the club level, sending warning signals to opponents in the upcoming FIFA World Cup qualifier games. Those were our headlines. Details in a jiffy. Welcome back. And as you heard in one of our late stories, the Minister of Higher Education, Professor Jacques Famendongo, has chaired the installation of the Coordination Committee to fight STD, HIV and AIDS in the university milieu. The ceremony took place this September 16 at the National Center for Supervision and Development of the RIC at the University Digital Center in Yaoundé. Details in this report. The fight against STDs, HIV and AIDS in universities is underway as a coordination committee was installed on September 16, 2025. The meeting, chaired by the Minister of State, Minister of Higher Education, Chancellor of Academic Orders, Professor Jacques Famendongo, was an opportunity to disclose various strategies to better combat STDs in universities.
Therefore, the strategy to combat STIs, HIV and AIDS in higher education is, I can affirm, a broader and more ambitious vision which must consider the production of a university health policy that will be integrated into the national health policy. The coordination committee and local units dealing with the fight against STIs, HIV and AIDS.
Created earlier this month, the committee is tasked with setting strategic directions and implementing the sectorial strategic plan to combat STIs and making sensitization calls.
This committee that has been launched today is very timely because it's going to really push the efforts around the university environment and sensitize, in order to respond to the epidemic. It's important to also note that from our preliminary results from the Cameroon-based population impact study for HIV showed that we are still at 80% of people who know their HIV status, but the target is 95%. So you see, we still have like 15% gap. So that gap is really, and when you look critically, you realize that this initiative is really going to play a very key role.
The meeting brought together representatives from the Ministry of Public Health, Higher Education, and other health stakeholders. The 2025-2026 school year in the Jerem Division is underway. This was visible during a sectoral meeting organized by the Divisional Delegate for Basic Education, laying down the groundwork. As you tell us, Phillips Enchi.
The Divisional Delegate of Basic Education for Jerem, alongside stakeholders, met with the education community during a working session on Saturday, September 13, 2025. The meeting aimed to tackle challenges related to the start of the 2025-2026 school year in the Jerem Division, Adamawa region. Free schooling in the locality and a ban on commercial activities within school premises were among the topics handled during the meeting. This meeting is very important and timely to guarantee a good start of the new school year. This is going to permit us to prepare in advance on the upcoming activities in the course of this school year. Satisfied with stakeholder participation, the divisional delegate stressed the importance of adhering to guidelines in order to ensure a conducive learning environment. Before commencing with a new school year, it is very important to bring together the different actors at the level of the division so as to do a retrospect on the previous years, identifying the lapses and areas to be ameliorated while focusing on the target. It was also an opportunity to call on the attention of the headmasters and headmistress and other stakeholders on the necessity of respecting the rules and regulation forbidding them from receiving bribes and extorting money from parents during admission. That is why we obliged them to make public the various fee required for parents to know what and when to pay their fee and any financial obligation required of them. During the start of the school year, teachers and parents are focused on the established rules and avoiding any deviation.
And let's talk issues pertaining to security, as administrative and security officials in the Central region have been called upon to be on alert and vigilant before after the election period. The call was made on September 15 in Yaoundé during a security and evaluation meeting chaired by the Minister of Territorial Administration, Paul Atanganji. Details in this report.
Bringing together the governor, the 10 senior divisional officers, 7 divisional officers, security officials, collaborators from the Ministry of Territorial Administration, the regional delegate of Elekam, and other authorities of the Central region are meeting this Monday at the conference hall of the Yaoundé City Council in a security evaluation meeting ahead of the October 12 presidential election. Chairing the meeting is the Minister of Territorial Administration, Paul Atanganji, who in his opening address called on the administrative and security officials to be alert and vigilant before, during, and after the presidential election.
An election is like a football match, where the first cardinal principle is fair play. So we should abide by the rules and regulations, because by the time we enter in a football field, we know exactly that there's a referee and we have the yellow card and the red card. So those are the rules of the game. So what we are saying is that in the electoral process, all the actors should respect the rules of the game and abide by the rules and regulations. So we don't have much to say. We'll carry this exercise in the 10 regions because it is important for the local administrative authorities to give us a comprehensive report on what has been done and what are the challenges. So in the Central region, I can say so far so good, things are on the right track.
A moment to maintain and implement the prescription of President Paul Biya, which is that of peace, living together and social cohesion.
It's important to reiterate the esteemed instructions of President Paul Biya that the elections must be carried out peacefully in an environment void of disorder. It's important also for all the stakeholders to have a responsible behavior, because the presidential election gives us the opportunity to sell the image of Cameroon. So we have to be very responsible in our pronouncements. The political actors must bear in mind that President Paul Biya is a great statesman who has worked throughout his life for the promotion of peace, stability, living together, and a perfect coexistence between all the components of the state.
With 27 days to the D-Day and with 85% of the work done so far by Lekam, the in-camera meeting permits each of the administrative authorities present to provide details on the reality of their areas of command to guarantee security.
We have to reinforce all the mechanisms so that we should have public order, because if we don't have public order, we can have some disturbances. So this evaluation exercise will be carried out in all the regions so that we can make a comprehensive report to the head of state at each stage We are barely 27 days to go in for the elections. Very soon the campaigns will be launched. So it's important for us to verify and cross-check. Despite all the reliable information which is given to us, we have to go and cross-check to ascertain that the process is going on hitch-free.
While insisting that there will be no space for recalcitrants to disrupt the electoral process, Minister Paul Atanganji reiterated that all political actors involved must respect the law.
And on to something else. September 15th marked the International Day for Democracy, a global observance that underscores the importance of democratic values and citizen participation in governance. The day serves as a reminder of the ongoing efforts to strengthen democratic institutions worldwide. Mimi Tiobo throws more light.
September 15 is celebrated as the International Day of Democracy. This global observance aims to promote and uphold democratic values, human rights, and citizens' participation in governance. Established by the United Nations General Assembly in 2007, it underscores the need to protect democratic institutions and ensures all individuals' voices are heard.
In a democratic system, we're not only looking at questions of sovereignty, where the people hold sovereignty, and the constitution of countries give the people the right to hold this sovereignty, but we are also looking at issues related to the social contract, the responsibility of the citizens towards those in power.
The theme for the 2025 is Achieving Gender Equality, Action by Action. This is focusing to promote gender equality and also to empower women in democratic processes.
We're looking also at fundamental human rights, rights that have been drawn from the Universal Declaration of Human Rights and the African Charter on Human and People's Rights, which are all guaranteed in the preamble of the Constitution of Cameroon, that irrespective of who you are, you don't need to fear for your life. Everyone is not actually guilty until proven otherwise. Yes, we have two legal systems in the country that does so. But also, fundamentals of democracy would lead to political pluralism, multi-party politics, liberty to do association, to be free to sit and discuss your political views irrespective of how the other party or the other camp sees them.
This day serves as a reminder of the importance of a democratic value and the ongoing effort to strengthen democratic institutions worldwide.
The Akono Municipality Council has adopted and examined the 2024 administrative and management accounts during an ordinary session on September 15. The session was chaired by the representative of the Senior Divisional Officer of MEFO and Akono, George Muchengami. Jessica Ndiwum was on special assignment to the MEFO and Akono Division. Her report.
Held in Akono on September 15, 2025, the municipal councillors met for an ordinary session devoted to examining and adopting the administrative and management account for the 2024 financial year, a key stage in drawing up the financial balance sheet for the past year and preparing development outlooks. We had the duty to present to the council a full account of how the resources were managed and utilized. It was an opportunity to show that the daily needs of our population are being addressed across the key social sectors, be it roads, health, social welfare, or any other priority, including the budget. At this moment, we also wish to express our satisfaction and extend our gratitude to the head of state, whose vision of decentralization has made this achievement possible. They came to see what had been accomplished with their resources, and they left reassured that their daily lives are being taken care of by the executive and municipal councillors. This confidence is a high sign that much has been achieved and even greater prospects lie ahead. As stipulated by Law Number 2004/018 of July 22, 2004, on the General Code of Decentralized Local Authorities, municipal councillors are required annually to examine their community's administrative and management accounts. For 2024, Akono recorded a projected budget of over 1 billion CFA francs, achieving an implementation rate of 68.13%. Despite surpluses and deficits, the budget supported several development projects. Major investments targeted health, education, electrification, and public safety, reflecting the Council's priorities for improving living conditions in Akono. What we are presenting to the State Assembly is the rate of execution of our budget, which stands at about 68.13% of the projected 100%. This performance was achieved in a particularly difficult context, especially with regard to revenue recovery. We have been waiting for the new fiscal law, prepared over 2 years, but it was put on hold. In the meantime, we focused on what was essential. Most of the revenues we used came from the state, since decentralization means giving responsibilities together with the resources to carry them out. The municipal executive faced challenges executing projects, limited financial resources caused by delays in paying contractors, slowing planned project realization. The 2024 budget brought progress in health, education, and electrification, but financial constraints and payment delays hindered some projects. One of the major challenges we face is the lack of access to land for the executive. We are confronted with unprecedented cases of fraud linked to the population who want to keep both land and the benefits. This reluctance makes it difficult to carry out our project, even though the state allocates these lands to us. This is one of the major causes. The cause majeure. The Council is committed to overcoming these challenges to better serve the Akono community.
A press conference was held this Tuesday, September 16, to present the book titled The Third Voice by Dr. Astrid Mono. In this work, the author argues that civil society actors are the third voice that can help bring down regimes that seem to last forever. Mimi Tiobo.
Dr. Aristide Mono's latest book, The Third Voice, is a 229-page, 5-chapter work that tackled the critical issue of dismantling African enshrined regime. The author, a PhD holder, an expert in political science, highlights the failure of Africa's governing systems and denounces the inaction of civil society, which he sees as a form of abandonment.
Dr. Aristide Mono, as we all know him, a prolific individual, is an established and a distinguished associate of C. And secondly, when you look at the book that we are presenting today before you, it is a scientific and politically maneuvered masterclass that will contribute substantially to conscientize as well as emancipate the population of Africa and Cameroon in particular. So for that reason, we had no other choice but, of course, to accompany Dr. Aristide Mono in this effort and the endeavor that he is presenting to the public today.
Through this book, Dr. Mono's aim to remind society of its vital role in improving living conditions and contributing to the meaningful change.
Il y a déjà une expérience personnelle de la société civile.
There is already a personal experience of the civil society, and I realized that in the course of the years, we accumulate certain experience and certain force to the point to conquer certain actors, leaders of opposition. We understand that we are not obliged to be militants of political parties or political leaders to impact public politics and to impact the state functions. As a lecturer, researcher, and political consultant, he brings a wealth of expertise to the discussion, hoping to make a lasting impact.
Away from that, this September 16 marks the International Day for the Preservation of the Ozone Layer. Our reporter met with an environmentalist who highlighted the importance of protecting this vital shield against the harmful ultraviolet radiation. Let's watch.
The International Day for the Preservation of the Ozone Layer is celebrated annually on September 16. This global observance aims to promote and uphold the protection of the ozone layer, which shields the Earth from harmful ultraviolet radiation. This 16 September is effectively the International Day for the Preservation of the Ozone Layer, and we know the importance of the ozone layer on the planet. In this effect, it protects us from harmful ultraviolet radiation. The preservation of the ozone layer is a critical environmental concern as it plays a vital role in protecting the Earth from harmful radiation. Human activities have contributed to the depletion of the ozone layer. The different uncivilized waste dumps seen in Cameroon, in some neighborhoods, the wrong use of dustbins, the existence of the dustbin at Kolfulu contribute greatly to the destruction of the ozone layer. The International Day for the Preservation of the Ozone Layer serves as a reminder of the importance of protecting the ozone layer and the need for continuous global cooperation to address this critical environmental issue.
And let's talk news from across our borders, as one person has been killed and 13 others injured after an overnight Russian strikes on Zaporizhzhia, while a UN report accused South Sudan's leaders of fueling the country's deepening food crisis through systematic corruption. Jessica Ndiwu.
Russian strike on Zaporizhzhia as one person was killed and 13 injured in a Russian strike on Zaporizhzhia. Regional Governor Ivan Vendorov reported that at least 10 strikes hit the city overnight, targeting civilian infrastructure. The State Emergency Service said the attacks caused a large fire that spread across residential buildings. Images shared where officials showed significant damage to homes and debris scattered on the streets. Authorities deployed 78 rescuers and 17 pieces of equipment to contain the fire and search for survivors. Emergency crews continued to work at the scene on Tuesday morning. Meanwhile, UN report on South Sudan corruption. The United Nations has denounced systematic government corruption in South Sudan, blaming it for worsening human rights crisis and food crisis in the country. In a new report, the UN Commission on Human Rights in South Sudan accused the country's political elites of diverting public revenues from oil and other sources for their own benefits at the cost of the country's 11 million people. Yasmin Soka, chairperson of the commission, stated that corruption is not incidental, but is the engine of South Sudan's decline. The commission also noted that South Sudan has failed to improve public financial management. As part of the 2018 revitalized agreement on the resolution of the conflicts in the Republic of South Sudan, the government has pledged to ensure prudent, transparent, and accountable management of national wealth and resources to build the nation and promote the welfare of the people.
And in sports, the indomitable Lions continue to improve their tactics and style of play at the club level, sending warning signals to opponents in the upcoming FIFA World Cup qualifier games. The jaw-dropping performance is now considered by football fanatics a sign of victory. Our sports reporter Phillips Enchi now brings to the limelight their technical ability. Let's watch.
The indomitable Lions are sparing no odds to deliver a heart-melting performance at the club level. These football stands now create a restless atmosphere for opponents of the 2026 FIFA World Cup qualifiers games, as Cameroon will be taking on Angola and Mauritius. Andre Onana at the club level, after a series of saves with his new subsidiary club Trabzonspor, grabbed a 1-0 defeat against Fenerbahce in the Turkish Super League. 8 saves to his credit, with 5 of them single-handedly repeatedly denying the Istanbul side from creating a net chaos. Andrew Nana was crowned man of the match despite his first ever defeat with Turkey. The Indomitable Lions captain Vincent Abubakar on his part, despite without a club and gearing towards the end of his football career, continued to deliver jaw-dropping performances. His appearance during the previous FIFA World Cup qualifiers games resonate recognition as the old school still masters the angles with great tactics, styles and strategies to his credit. The New York Red Bull striker Eric Maxim Choupo-Moting remains a force to be reckoned with after gaining momentum with the club in 2024. He recently had a mind-blowing performance with Resort Lake and was among the top performers, demonstrating excellent movement, technical skill and composure. 29-year-old Zambo Anguissa, playing for Napoli, registered 2 goals and 2 assists, sending warning signals to opponents at both club and World Cup levels, including the upcoming FIFA World Cup qualifiers. Meanwhile, Brighton midfielder Carlos Baleba, who has been with the club since 2023, has attracted interest from other clubs, notably Manchester United and Manchester City. Known for his stamina, dribbling and passing range, the Cameroonian midfielder continues to maintain a top spot in the world of football. With such an impressive performance at the international level, the Indomitable Lions are convinced they will produce expected results when the time is right.
And that sports news brings us to the end of this edition. But before we go, a recap of our headlines. The Minister of State, Minister of Higher Education, Professor Jacques Famendongo, chaired the installation of the Coordination Committee to fight STDs, HIV and AIDS in university. The Akono Municipal Council examined and adopted the 2024 administrative and management accounts during an ordinary session on September 15, 2025. And in this newscast, we also talked sports as the Indomitable Lions continue to improve their tactics and style of play at the club level, sending warning signals to opponents in the upcoming FIFA World Cup qualifier games. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks very much for your keen attention. That does it for our news for tonight. Stay in the company of our programs as Claudia Nsa comes up at exactly 8 p.m. for the news in the French language. Have a good evening.